Hello, Ewoks, Jedi, Stormtroopers, and Rebel Scum. My name is Raunchy Ram, and help me, Sly Red Wolf. You're my only hope.
My name is Sly, and I'm your father.
My name is Pandas, and that's not true. That's impossible.
And watching Booty Salad, you are.
Yay!
Oh God,
we
no,
did
we
it.
did it. Wait, was that the actual
That was
opening,
how many?
or was that
Yes,
just a
that was the
practice?
actual one.
Shit! Now we're
That's-
recording.
yeah.
Yeah, we're recording
Uh,
now. That's the
oh.
third attempt at actually recording
that's
it,
the
and then
fourth
we had
attempt.
like 10. No,
No,
we
that
had
was
like
the first
10
try.
before this that we attempted to get.
I couldn't
Like
help but
we
laugh.
rehearsed this like 10 times, and then Brett lost it every time after I said, "Help me, Sly Red Wolf. You're my only hope."
It's so great. This episode's about
Star Wars
the majority
Battlefront.
of this episode is about Star Wars Battlefront because all three of us together have played the beta for it. A pretty reasonable amount to get an impression of the game. We've played the
Oh
two
yeah, we
game
got to the
modes.
level cap, and then I got enough XP to go to the level cap like 3 more times. So I actually
So,
played
yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, it's so we're gonna jump straight into what we think about our impressions of Battlefront, or
I'm gonna say
like
just
what?
one thing real quick off the bat. As the game stands, as how the equipment and stuff like that sets up, I don't see a way that they're going to be able to add microtransactions into the game without creating a new currency for it altogether.
But you're not saying that it's impossible for that to happen.
No, it's
You're
just they'd have
saying
to.
it would take some
Yeah,
work.
it would take more. Yeah, it would take some work to do it. So it definitely won't have microtransactions at launch, and they already said that the game won't have microtransactions.
Oh,
But you
that's
know, in the
good.
back of my head, I read we won't have microtransactions, and then my brain finished the sentence with "at launch."
And it's the same thing like with Call of Duty. Well, it could be. I'm not saying it's going to be, but like with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, before it released and they announced the supply drops thing, they were like, "Oh, we're never going to sell this for monetary gain." And then it was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. So you can only earn them while playing the game." And then
Yeah, but
they
the battle
went back
packs were
on that.
very unobtrusive. Like you could always get them really easily, especially in hardline. They just throw them at you by the
Well,
bucket full.
That's the battle packs, though. We're talking about the supply drops in Advanced Warfare that actually would give you a feasible.
Oh yeah, the supply drops
advantage.
they didn't give you enough. But anyway, this is Star Wars.
Yeah,
not
we're not
Call of
talking
Duty.
About, yeah, we're not. Fuck that shit. This is actual futuristic warfare where we have clones doing our work and we
It's
trip up
retrofuturism
machines.
actually. It's
Yeah.
a future as depicted by the past.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
actually didn't find out retrofuturism was a thing until Reddit.
Reddit
Nice.
is beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so
Anyway, let's start with the positive. What was your guys' favorite thing about the beta?
oh god, well,
Before we start with the soul-crushing negativity.
there's not really much. I don't know. My favorite thing about the beta, I don't know. Like when I first played it in the first game mode, was it Drop Zone? It felt pretty mediocre at first. It felt like just
Yeah,
a
it felt
basic.
like King the Hill Plus.
Yeah, it just felt like a basic, first-person shooter. But that's the great thing about it is you don't have to play in first person at all. You can also play in third person, but that's a good thing. But I was impressed once we played whatever the other game mode is. What is it? Basically, it's just a rendition of the Battle
It
of
was
Hoth.
AT-AT Assault. But yeah, it was a
AT-AT
remake of the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah,
Battle of Hoth
that's a pretty
from, I think, Star
cliche
Wars.
thing to do. But
I don't know. I don't want to quote a number because I know I'm going to be wrong.
That's the scene though that a lot of people remember. So
Everyone
that's the-
remembers the Battle of Hoth. That was the good one. Like just lasers everywhere.
lasers and tripping fucking the AT-ATs or the ATAs with the
AT-AT is the giant one. ATST is the two-legged one.
the ATA
Okay,
yeah,
now we look
with
like
the
amateurs.
zip. Yeah, like I said, I haven't fucking.
Yeah, they shot the zip line at it, and then the Y-wings zoomed around it and tripped it.
So that's the one that a lot of people have seen. Whether you've seen the movies or not, you probably have seen that scene because it's referenced a lot and just everything that's released now. But what did I like most about the beta? Just there's a lot to like. I enjoyed the jetpacks. They're so much fun. I mean, just the ability to boost yourself from from the
Save the hate,
spawn.
Panda. I heard that sigh.
Yeah. The ability to go from the spawn to like the middle of the map in like a second, it's so awesome. You feel like a Superman when you fly through the
The
sky like that.
jetpacks, they're not like flutter jetpacks like you would get in Destiny or any other game. They're
They're like a
they're
huge
a
speed
quick jump.
boost. Yeah.
It like lifts you up off the ground and forces you forward a set distance.
And I mean, you boost the
It's like being
depending on what
catapulted.
direction you're walking. So I mean, you can be strafing and then just boost over to the side. It's so awesome. It just feels so good.
It's not like the Exodash, which was like super annoying and made the game too fast-paced in Call of Duty. It's more like it's an actual jump, and once you're on the flight path, you can't get out of it.
No, it's great. I would have to say that's the thing I enjoyed the most about it. That's just the beta. There's some other really cool shit I enjoyed, but that is like just if I had to point out
The
one
jetpack was
specific
cool.
thing.
Like,
Yeah, the jetpack's
as soon as you
awesome.
get the jetpack, the game's possibilities open up
Oh,
like
yeah.
tenfold.
You're at a
Like,
disadvantage if you don't
It cuts
have
the
one.
map size by like half by just feeling, and then it's a great flanking opportunity. You can raid objectives so easily. Like, we should probably just start with like one spot from each equipment spot and say like what was our favorite. Like, Brett already covered that by saying the jetpack. Panda, what was your favorite non-Y equipment?
I like the sniper.
Yeah,
I just felt like,
Really, you like the
was-
sniper?
yeah, man. It was just so amazing because I liked using the E11, and the E11 one was better. I used it better in a close, like mid to close range. So having that sniper was better to clear people off on those heels.
Yeah, the sniper, for those of you who haven't gotten a chance to play, it's one shot and then it goes on like a 10-second cooldown. So there's no snipe camping or anything like that. It's just you get one shot and then you're forced to hoof it.
Yeah, it's I had some playtime with
Headshots
sniper. I
only.
can't use it for nothing. It'll one-shot kill you if you're damaged, but if you're at full health, it takes a headshot.
It's possible to quick scope with it, but then again, you're doing it once and then miss or hit, you're forced to put the gun away, and then you're at a disadvantage for 2 seconds while you stow it.
Yeah, so
So it's not practical for close quarters or anything
Yeah.
like that.
definitely not.
So far, there isn't actually any secondaries in the game either. They're all equipment. If there are bonus weapons, they're all equipment.
Well, I don't think there actually needs to be secondaries in the game because
No.
unlike other shooting games, you have an ammo reserved, and this one you don't. It's a laser weapon,
Yeah,
so it
they're
takes
all energy weapons.
That
so
it just
they,
takes time to recharge.
Yeah. And then it
So-
also had style reloads. That was cool. Like I wasn't
yeah,
expecting
like in-
I was expecting active reloads.
Yeah, me either. I was half expecting Marcus Phoenix to say, "Oh yeah," every time I got one, or
Get
something.
back in your hole.
Yeah, that was. It's pretty
Yeah,
good. I like it.
It was a nice surprise.
I'm gonna go ahead
My
and
favorite
say,
piece of equipment, though.
Huh.
I have to pick one you guys haven't picked, so that leaves me with the frag grenade. So, thanks, guys.
Wow, you did
You
it.
throw that frag
Like,
grenade so
mine
far.
was the jump jet.
Wow, and your frag grenade, and that's fucking just revolutionary. I've never heard of them. A game that has
Okay.
frag grenade.
There's like only two pieces. There's only like two pieces of Y equipment that we actually
Well,
used. There was the ion shot and
no,
the
shield. Oh, I should have said the shield. Oh god. No, I'm gonna change mine from the jetpack to the shield. Just imagine whatever
The
I
shield.
said is what Josh said, because the shield, I absolutely love the shield because, let's say for example, you need to activate a objective. You can activate the shield. It'll protect you from it'll protect you from kinetic energy while you activate.
The shield lasts for 7 seconds, and it makes
Yeah.
it so the energy bullets do only like nothing. It takes like an entire cooldown of a weapon to destroy the shield. So you have to get like ion shot if you're playing against people with shields, and it's probably the AIDSiest thing to AIDS on the AIDS planet.
Why is it that everything that Sai likes, I hate the most?
I love it because I can just use the shield, run up to an objective, and turn it on.
But
and no
Panda,
one
you
can
had an
do anything
advantage.
about it.
You used the sniper a lot. You could use the sniper to snipe through the shields because the
Yeah.
shield only protects against energy. It doesn't
Also,
protect against actual
Whatever.
physical objects.
also, you can just melee straight through it. Like I found that out yesterday. Remember when there was a guy trying to
So it
defuse
forces
it?
you to actually defend in that game mode if you got people
Yeah.
who
Get
are
outta here.
dickish enough
Bullshit.
to use the shield.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love the shield. I also kind of like
Ion
how
shot is practically necessary though, just because of that.
I kind of like how like you get the shield and you have 10 charges on it, so these charges don't reset
Just
after
play it
every
low, Robbie.
game.
I've got the headset on.
So that means if you want to keep using your shield, you have to find these little drops among the battlefield to keep your shield topped off.
Yeah, but this may be a glitch or something, I don't know, but like every round that you return back to the side that you had, like if you started on Rebels, when you get back to the Rebel side, you've still got all the energy charges you got from your previous games. So you could end up having a lot less or way too much. Like I found at one point when we were playing Drop Zone, my Stormtrooper side had 30 ion shots stocked up, and you start with 10.
Dang.
That's I never had more than 10 shields.
That's because you were always using them.
Yeah.
Oh,
That might
the
have
plus
been
side about
why.
the shield, though, is you can't shoot while it's active.
Yeah. So it's not
It's like the
overpowered in that
Droideka
regard.
shields from, like, I think that's, like... I don't want to give a number again, because I know I'm wrong. Like, I'm pretty
The
sure
one-
Droideka are from 1 through 3.
Yeah, I think it was in the third one. No, that's
Attack
not
of the
third one.
Clones? I think
No,
it
the
was 2,
second one.
Attack of the Clones.
The second one where they would roll
Yeah.
out and they would have the stupid shield and they would wait until they would shoot through them.
That's something that always bugged me about the movies, is that the technology in 1 through 3 was way more advanced than the technology in 4 through 5.
Well, yeah, because of course they were prequels. They were made. They were sequel prequels where they were made. In the story, they took place before the ones that were already made. But of course, everyone
Alright.
knows that.
On to the negative. What was the worst
man.
part about the beta? And only one of us can say the connection in lobbies.
Yeah, no,
God
I'm gonna
damn it.
say, no,
I
I
wanna
was
say-
gonna
no,
say
I wanna
that,
say that.
dude.
No, I want to
I wanted to say that.
We all wanted to say that. We'll just say this one in unison. The connection and lobby system. You can
Yeah.
party up like you could in pretty much any other shooter ever, but you will be damned if you can get into a match.
Yeah, it's pretty crappy.
Like, you can't party up and do it. We had to go in individually, find a match, and then get people to join session on us.
Yeah, it
And
was
then we
pretty
would end up
annoying.
on opposite teams. It was pretty much like Plants vs. Zombies matchmaking.
Yeah,
Like,
I
before
lost,
they
like,
even fixed that.
I lost like 30 games in a row because of that shit. Because they were on the enemy team and I was on a team by myself, and my team
Yeah.
was really bad, so I never won.
The top 3 was like always like the 3 of us, like me, Panda, and Adrian.
Yeah, we couldn't. It sucked for me because I couldn't change.
Adrian
teams
ended
or
up
anything
leaving
like
so that he could go and join your guys' team, and you
Yeah,
guys still
and then
kept losing.
No, we did win one, and then
You
we
got a
quit
draw,
playing.
and then you win.
Yeah,
and then
we
you
draw
quit
and
because
then
you were
we
like,
won.
"That's the best we're gonna do tonight."
No, I'm pretty sure like you guys were like, oh, let's go play the other game mode. I was like, hey, and then we.
Oh
went
yeah,
and played
we
other
were gonna
game
go
mode.
do AT-AT Assault. AT-AT Assault is cool, but it's a little much. It's pretty much MCOM Rush in Battlefield. It's just, I felt like it was a lot to take in at once. The game doesn't do a very good job of describing what's going on in the game mode, so you're constantly left gawking at giant machines. Like, how many times have you guys found yourself shooting at the AT-AT hoping that it'd do something?
Yeah, it didn't. But they do tell you when. I believe I made it too hard on myself. If I had actually like watched the little cinematic before the game starts that tells you what to do, I would have had a better idea of what the fuck to do. But I didn't do that because I was dumb. So
Basically,
like,
if you're
"Oh,
on the
got it."
rebel side, you go up to these MCOMs and you hold them, and they call in Y-wings to shoot at the AT-ATs. The Y-wings will come in and then shoot at the AT-ATs, making it so that regular bullets and stuff like that actually hurt them. So when the shield breaks, their armor weakens, everyone shoots at them. But the game doesn't do a very good job of describing that. We played like 2 or 3 games before we figured that out. But once you learn the map, the game is
the
really
map
easy to
is
understand. It's almost
Um,
impossible to coordinate, though. There's
But
no
it's so-
squads. That's what I hated.
That's another good thing about I would say about the game. It actually feels like a war's going on. Like, there are so many people on both sides shooting each other at all times. It literally feels like a war. Because
I
there's just
just wish
so much shit
there was
going
a
on.
squad system because there's like too much chaos going on in the game because you can't coordinate an attack because you got nothing but people in groups of two. They
Well, I
call
mean,
it
that's still
partner
technically,
system.
yeah,
There's no
partner system.
squads.
Well,
But I guess there's
I'm
no
still
need for
okay with
squads
that.
since there's no things like ammo packs and med kits and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm pretty
But
okay
still, it
with
just
how it is.
yeah.
Because it would be kind of annoying. Because they didn't add that dumb thing that Battlefield has where you try to teleport to a partner and then they die. So you can't, there's like a little bit of lag there. So if they die just as you're teleporting to them, they'll be like, oh, you can't teleport to them now. So I kind of like it because they got rid of that. So it makes it a little bit faster paced. But it would be kind of annoying if you could have an entire team of like 6 people just keep respawning off of one another. That would kind of suck. So I can
It
see why
does run
2
on the
people is
same
pretty
engine as
okay.
like Battlefield and everything, but it's very apparent that it's not Battlefield because you're constantly reminded by things that Battlefield has as opposed to this that Battlefront doesn't. Like they took all the good things that Battlefield had and kept it away from Battlefront. So the game ends up being way more chaotic than it should be. And Drop Zone, it feels too much like who gives a fuck about the pod? Let's just go kill enemies for the hell of it.
Yeah, I don't think Drop Zone's an accurate representation of what the game's going to be. I feel like it was just, they needed a quick, fast game mode, and then they needed the one big, long game
Oh,
mode.
I should have said my
Yeah.
favorite part of the game was playing Darth Vader because that was fucking
Yeah, that's
baller
something.
as shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably the most epic moment of me playing the beta was when the enemy team summoned Darth Vader, and I was on the rebel side. It was
And
just
you could hear
so...
the music. Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah, the
dun,
music
dun,
plays.
dun.
But then it's just so fucking awesome to see Darth Vader walk
You
across
see,
the
you
snowy
see that
battlefield.
dude.
Dude, he looks so threatening and so
It's so fucking imposing because he
badass.
does do that like partial walking thing, like where it's in between walking and running. That's super fucking intimidating. You see that? You
And
see the black outline of him, and you're like, "Fuck, is that Darth Vader? Run like shit, everybody! Run in
I
the opposite
especially
direction."
love how his
Why aren't
gate
you running?
flutters behind him. The Jedi, Darth Vader especially. I don't know too much about Luke Skywalker because I didn't really see him. He
He
didn't
just
see
wears
that
like
impressive.
he wears a one piece, and then it's just it's pretty much just Mark Hamill in a one piece running around with a lightsaber.
Yeah, with Darth Vader running around, he looks like a threat. He didn't
You
just
see him and you
feel
run.
like one. He looked like one. He was definitely a threat. He can reflect your bullets back at you. He can one shot
so
you with his
cool, like-
lightsaber.
I was so power hungry, like I felt like I had like a psychosis problem or something like that, where like I just shouldn't be a person who should be given power because as soon as I was given Darth Vader, I was losing my shit. I was going crazy. I was lifting dudes up off the ground to force choke them. You
It
like
was,
lift them up
yeah.
off the ground, you force choke them, and you can walk up closer to them and then melee them. But he's also got this thing where he can swing his lightsaber, and it propels himself forward, so he can fly across the map by just using his sword and shit. It's not
and by no
overpowered
means
because
is
it's
he
time based.
overpowered. Yeah.
But if I had Force Lightning at that part, if I had Force Lightning, I would have probably exploded from the humongous nerd boner that was taking up all my blood.
Yeah, no, it was pretty freaking. Darth Vader, it's larger than life. It's so awesome. This is an accurate representation, I believe, of the game, or the movies, and what the games have been trying to be since their initial creation. It's so
I want to be on the
awesome.
side of being force choked because I'm kind of curious what that guy was thinking when I was doing that to him.
Yeah, I want to see.
He
how that
must have been like
plays out.
screaming into his screen.
Yeah, I'd say I definitely think this game's gonna be great. Just seeing him walking across the snowy battlefield like that just really made me smile. Like
It
the
is
first
a
time
really
I've been
bare-bones
visually
game, though.
impressed. Well, again, it's in beta, so what we had access to is what you can expect to have access to at level 5.
But like
I
what
can assume.
what the mechanics are missing in like intricacy and craziness, like the lack of weapons and stuff like that, just how minimal the classes are. the game modes more than make up for the complication in that. But I've always believed that like a multiplayer game should be relatively simple, so that the most amount of people can enjoy it as possible. Because you get your multiplayer games too complicated, and then nobody wants to play it. But single-player games should be the opposite, where they should be full of features and constantly things for you to do. But yeah, I feel like Battlefront was a good mix of all of that. It did feel like a long time leveling up, though.
I don't think it took that long. It was just I
Level
enjoyed
5
it.
was definitely slow.
Yeah, level 5 took a while. But it was mostly because I couldn't, at least for me, I couldn't get any large amount of points because I could never get to the objective because I kept getting fucked. Because we just played, Drop Zone for the first 5 levels. We didn't even touch the other game mode until after we hit 5 because we didn't want to be at a disadvantage. Because the jetpack has a lot of use in the bigger map because it's so big. The ability to get across faster is, I would say, fucking incredibly important.
The sound in this game and the visuals are amazing. Like, the game's visuals look better than the movies did because, like, the CGI is more advanced now. So, it was really... Like, everything was beautiful. The snow on Hoth was glistening. Like, it was covered in,
awesome.
like, a stripper's bottle of glitter. It was just so fucking glittery.
Dude, it was
Like, I stared at snow for a straight 5 minutes.
It was better than those girls who go on Twitch and boob cam.
Boob
Panda.
Boob cams. Shout out to the
Boob cams. Boobs in the thumbnail. Anyway, what was it I was talking about? Oh, the sounds. Sorry, boobs in the thumbnail got me distracted for some reason. But the game sounds are so amazing. Like, I know I'm talking about like nerd boners and stuff a lot, but like I don't have any other way to express the amount of joy that I was feeling when a TIE fighter whooshed past me and I blew a load.
The sounds are so good, and especially if you've watched the movies, it's just a touch of nostalgia. It's so amazing. I love it. I
The
went
laser
into this
sounds
game.
are great.
I went into this game. I was skeptical as hell because that's just what I do, and because
I was ready to shit on it
okay.
too.
It's okay to exert a little bit of, caution when something
It's
like
probably
this
gonna
happens.
have like the luster's probably gonna wear off after we end up playing it for like a week straight.
No, I don't know.
Probably.
It was. Oh God.
I feel
don't
like
know.
it's
I
going to
could
be
see myself
another
playing it
thing for
a
us,
lot.
like where we play for a month or two and then we go back to Call of Duty.
Well, I never went back to Call of Duty, so I don't know. But
You did go back to Call of Duty, just not
yeah,
Advanced
a little
Warfare.
bit. Yeah, I didn't like Advanced Warfare that much. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, especially since it's not just mastering the gunplay. It's also gonna be mastering fighting in the air, mastering how to play as a Jedi, and all that. It's a lot more.
I can't fly a jet worth a damn in Battlefield, but I'm like a fucking ace pilot in a TIE fighter.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like it. It's really good.
They make flying the TIE fighter so much easier than the jets.
I
Like, anyone
kinda-
could pick up a TIE fighter and fly it.
By default, I don't like how they made the flying controls just regular. Like how if you press up on the joystick, you'll look up, and you press down, you look down.
You
I'm
wanted
used-
normal flight controls invert.
Yeah, I'm used to inverted controls when I fly because it makes me feel like I'm not just playing.
I was
would
upset how
normally.
they didn't let me use the Dreamcast fishing controller.
Yeah, no, that was really a disappointment. That was probably my biggest peeve about the game.
Probably.
Like, I want to swing it forward and my lightsaber flies out.
I want to fling my hook out, and if it hits something, I throw my lightsaber and it chops whoever I hit. That's something that I really feel we need to tweet at just DICE and everyone else who is responsible for this game.
At
It's
EA,
great.
please
It's
provide
good.
Dreamcaster fishing controller support.
It's a great attempt. Like, it really, I feel, could be the ultimate fishing game if I was allowed to use the controller. I mean, it's the peripheral, really. I mean, the visuals are awesome.
Oh my
the
God.
gameplay is awesome. But without the peripheral, I mean, what's the point? I mean, it's
my
like
God.
playing...
The
it's
only
like
thing it's missing is,
Mario
like,
Go-Kart
other
without the-
races. Could we get
Yeah.
some Could we get to like
Ewoks.
play as like in Battlefront 1 and 2, you could play as other factions, like you could play as the droids. You could play as
Play the
like
Ewoks.
you could
Yeah,
play as
and
I
Wookiees.
remember I made the playing. Oh my goodness.
there
Oh, the
definitely isn't
days.
enough variety.
Ewoks or we riot.
Like yeah, you have your stormtroopers, and you have your rebels, and of course you have your carp, your shark, your rainbow trout. But there needs to be more variety in the type of enemies and the type of encounters you experience in the game. Like, I can't tell you how upset I was with the majority of my catch being trout, like 900 pounds of trout and like 2 pounds of shark. Like, that's
All right,
really just
fishing
kind
aside
of.
though, this Battlefront, if you played the other Battlefronts, you're going to be noticeably disappointed that this Battlefront is nothing like the other ones. Like, there's not a thing in common with this one as opposed to Battlefront 1 and 2. Like, this one's a bare bones version of Battlefront 1 and 2 as well. Like, Battlefront 1 and 2 was really complicated. It was like a war simulator. It had RTS elements to it. But this, it's all lacking that because you're actually relying on other people to do it too. But I mean, you can only have so much strategy when a kid's busy telling you how he plowed your mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys stopped me because I could have talked about that fishing shit for like another hour at least.
I know.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, so let's get on to some personal shit before we cut this off short. Oh, wait, we forgot to talk about how we're cutting the season short.
Oh well, we can talk about that now since you already spoiled
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Spoilers.
We're cutting the season short. You guys too, only 8 episodes long just for this season. Don't know about doing it for next season. The problem is that as November approaches, more school and stuff gets in the way, stuff like that. Brett's going to be busy with work and school, so he's not going to be able to show up for an entire week. And you guys already noticed that we missed last week's episode as well.
That was due strictly not laziness on our part, but that was technical
issues.
difficulties. Like, what was it, Thursday? We got halfway through recording it, and then my Xbox exploded, and I couldn't. No, my internet exploded, and I couldn't.
No,
get back
Thursday
on for the rest of the
Xbox
night.
Live was down.
Oh yeah,
Thursday
that's right.
Xbox Live was down, and then Friday, you weren't able to. Your internet cut out 5 minutes into the video.
Yeah, so the first night it was Xbox's fault. The second night my internet exploded.
And then Saturday we were like,
it.
"Fuck it!" Like,
Yeah, we were
why
like,
put it up?
Why
put it up 3 days late? Because then it's only going to be 4 days between episodes.
Yeah, we were gonna do it yesterday, but then we got so bogged down with all the research we had to do for this episode. I mean, just playing a game takes a lot out of you. So
yeah, I wanted to make sure that we all reached level 5 before we started the podcast.
Yeah, and it was so much fun that we got level 5 and then some. But I mean, it was thoroughly enjoyable. I think the game's gonna be good. If I was to base it on just the beta. However, I would say exercise some caution. Don't pre-order it yet. Or don't pre-order it at all, rather. I would wait until it releases and see what the critics say about it. Because
I want to wait a little bit too, just because I want to make sure that they fix the connection issues and make it so that when I play with a party, I can actually get into a game.
Yeah. Because, like a few weeks ago, we talked about how there was someone who had like a pre-alpha or an alpha viewing of the game, and they said it was broken. So that could have been just some dickhole on what's that forum? Not Reddit, NeoGAF. So it wouldn't be the first time it happened, but it won't be the last for sure. So yeah, I would say exercise caution. Don't pre-order it. Just see what other people say. That way you don't buy something that's complete crap.
All right, so let's talk about some us stuff. Like, how many Star Wars have you seen, Brett?
I've watched them all.
I've watched all but 3.
I was incredibly young when I watched the early ones. I mean, not the early ones, but the first ones, 4, 5, and 6. So I don't quite remember them too well. More recently, I watched the newer 3, and I still couldn't tell you much about them because, again, I was young. I really need to watch them all over from the beginning to end so I can actually be
No,
able to know what
if
I'm
you're gonna
talking
watch
about.
it, you need to watch it in the Topher Grace order, because the thing is that one is just awful, but the Topher Grace order, it's actually gotten. Was pretty sure that it got an award somewhere. You know who Topher Grace is, right?
No idea.
He played Eric in That '70s Show. I can tell
Sure.
by your silence that you still don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no,
Anyway,
I don't.
he's an actor and he's a super nerd too, and he created his own order of watching the videos so that you get the whole video's experience, like you understand the entire plot and story
Uh-huh.
while skipping out the shitty parts, like cutting out Jar Jar Binks completely. Like
Yeah, I
what it
remember
is
him.
it's like 3, 4, and then 1 through 3 as a flashback sequence. But 1 through 3 is like summarized into like an hour or two.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look
We'll
up the
have
entire
to.
thing.
I think I'm just gonna watch it from beginning to end, like
Just skip one.
it should
Do
be.
yourself the favor.
Well, if it's shit, I want to say I experienced the shit, so that when people talk about it, I can say, "Oh, it's shit." Well, I can be able to tell people why I think it's shit. Because if I say, "Oh, I skipped it because I heard it's shit," well, then I can't necessarily say that because I didn't watch it myself. So I'd say, yeah, I'm definitely probably gonna watch over it one day. It's
I'll
just
tell you
one
why
of
it's
those
shit.
things.
Jar Jar Binks. That's
Yeah, but I mean,
it.
oh man.
I could hear the snickering. Panda, you said you've seen bits and pieces of Star Wars?
Yeah.
You've probably seen about as much of Star Wars as I have of Lord of the Rings. So, like,
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I cried at the end of Return of the King in Lord of the Rings. I cried because I was like, finally, it's over. I don't have to worry about another movie coming out. 10 years later, here comes The Hobbit.
Well, but to be fair, the book The Hobbit was made before the Lord of the Rings. Well, actually, I don't know that to be true. I know The Hobbit takes place before the Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings, but I
It
don't
does.
know as to which order they were written. Like if the events of not the events, but if the books were written before one another.
I found Lord of the Rings to be very boring.
I love Lord of the Rings.
Just the entirety of it. All of what
I've
I've
never
watched,
seen it.
very boring.
I've never seen it.
You should at least like watch 1 and 2. 3 is a bit.
What? No, three was what? Three is so good. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
especially that ending. Especially that ending
Well, the
where
ending
Sam
is-
gives him that bedroom eyes look right before he leaves the room. Like he's about to kick down his door and start going down on Frodo there.
Oh my god.
I like the
Wow.
series. Lord of the Rings is good. It's another series just like Star Wars where people reference it all the time because
Mhm.
it's just good. It's something timeless, and it's something that's
Like the
going to remain
stereotype of
timeless.
wizards smoking pipes.
Yeah.
Like every
Oh.
ideal visual of a wizard, it always looks like Gandalf. Like no matter what wizard it is, it always looks like Gandalf.
Gandalf is the
Gandalf the
quintessential-
Grey, not Gandalf the White.
Gandalf is the quintessential wizard. I mean, he's awesome. Who
He doesn't
love
actually know any
Gandalf?
magic. He just smokes some crazy hashish.
You shall not pass.
Dude, if I laced my pipe with LCD, I'm pretty sure I'd be seeing some giant eagles too. I'd be riding every giant eagle.
Fly, fools.
We just turned this in from Star Wars to Lord of the Rings.
What's
Like,
next?
nice.
Polar
Stephen
opposites.
King?
Let's talk about Mean Girls.
No. I don't
Lindsay
Yeah.
like that
Lohan
movie.
movie.
I can get into that.
Oh God. So what? Do we have anything we need to talk about, like the YouTube, like any videos that we need to refer to other people?
We can do the around the net and stuff like that, but like, I mean,
I don't necessarily.
I don't really have anything.
I recommend that everyone look up the Nostalgia Critic. I believe he does he does most of his videos on the Awesome channel. I believe it's the name of the channel on YouTube. he's hilarious. Like, it's not just him that's hilarious. He has like this group of people who play and act different people. He does movie reviews, and he is absolutely 100%, without a doubt, the funniest guy I have ever seen. That when he reviews these movies, he's better than Cinema Sins, in my opinion.
Like, I wanted to like recommend someone who's like small time, who isn't very popular, but this one guy who I thought was small time, I started looking at his subscriber count and stuff like that. Turns out he used to be a part of The Escapist. Not The Escapist, Nerd Cubed.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I was watching, like, I recommend watching this guy's playthroughs. What's his name? Many a True Nerd. He's been doing challenge playthroughs of Fallout 3 and New Vegas, as well as Mass Effect and stuff like that. Mass Effect, he's doing a no pistol playthrough. Okay, well, Panda got disconnected from the call, so let's just wrap this up and it's over.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay,
yeah, he must have just lost internet, but we recorded the majority of the show. Anyway, he did a Mass Effect 1 playthrough of no weapons
pistols.
mode.
Oh, okay.
No weapons, so
Just
he
pistols?
he plays biotic and just uses his powers.
Gotcha.
And then Fallout 3, he has kill everything runs. He has a kill everything run of New Vegas as well. And he's also got a make it on 1 health bar run, and I think he's doing that on Fallout 3 now, but he originally did it on New Vegas, and he succeeded the run through all of the DLC and the main game.
And that's pretty awesome. Like, just the fact that people have beaten these games so many times that they have to give themselves crazy challenges like this. That's pretty
Yeah, that's
cool.
what I was going to do with Mass Effect 1, but, you know, I don't ever really want to do anything ever.
Yeah, isn't that a drag?
Yeah, because, like, I like putting videos up and stuff like that, but I feel like the time I put into the videos isn't rewarded enough with views received. So I feel like I'm doing it for nothing. But, like, I know I like to do things for fun. Like, I do the podcast for fun. I do like to do things for fun, but I do like knowing that people are actually watching my stuff and enjoying it. Like, I would get that from my stream all the time, but just YouTube, there's such an underwhelmingly low amount of people who actually watch my stuff. But, yeah.
Well, we'll say that for another time, but unfortunately, Panda, he logged back on, but we're not going to be able to get him back in this call without ending
Let
it.
me just wrap it up.
So.
Season's over. We'll be back the week after next. There will be some changes made to the podcast. For one, we may not do news anymore just because it's too much work and, you know, it doesn't always end well and we end up with, like, hour-long videos. So instead we're going to do thematic episodes like we did this time with Star Wars. And because it's fall, there's going to be a lot of games coming out, so we're going to probably just do franchise episodes.
You can always do, I'm thinking, well, we'll save this for after the podcast. I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the end of the season. Unfortunately, Panda can't be here with us, but, you know, I'll just cover him. Fam, bye, fam, boobs in the thumbnail, bitch, fam.
We'll miss you guys.
For a week, and then we'll be back, so it's not that big of a deal.
May the Force be with you, and don't forget, watching Booty Salad you were.